This segment of the CU Podcast is sponsored by Whatnot, the go-to app for live stream buying and selling of collectibles. You can find your favorite retro games and connect with friends and your favorite game stores on the app. No bots to compete with. No sniping. You can see each auction and the item. The seller explains the item they have, and then you bid. It's simple and fun, and it's free to join. Just go to whatnot.com/invite/country code to get $10 off your purchase. Use the link or find it in the App Store and Google Play. Make a profile, add a credit card, and you can be bidding on a live auction in under a minute.
On Friday, April 1st at 5:30 p.m. PST, Whatnot is running a fun retail rally event with Cody from Mad World of Gaming. They do it every month, and this month the theme is Super Nintendo. You will have a chance to purchase Super Nintendo games at their original retail price. This includes some heavies like Sonic Blast Man 2, complete in box, Pocky and Rocky 2, loose, Earthbound, complete in box, and more, all for $50.
What? Go sign up and get yourself some retro games. Head to whatnot.com/invite/contra code to get $10 off your purchase for any new user on the app. Whatnot, buy, sell, and go live. But speaking of the Intellivision Amico, Ian, coincidentally or not, I tweeted, after we finished recording the podcast, within a few hours, a video was put up, comments restricted, on the official Intellivision Entertainment YouTube channel, unboxing the Intellivision Amico. Unboxing.
This is not the first time that they've put something out. They've released something suspiciously close to the time of the podcast ending.
And before you say you guys are too full of yourselves, I will just remind you of three different things. Tommy,
they've made it perfectly clear that we live in their heads. I don't think that's full of ourselves to say that.
Tommy has publicly admitted he attempted to troll us, Ian and me, with the upside down controller in the Finnegan Fox video. Publicly admitted that.
That was one of the first instances of I can remember of people who were pro Amico
being like, this is nuts.
This is ridiculous.
That was the end for that.
Why the fuck are you trying to... A, you're lying your ass off. But
Sure.
two, why are you framing it like you're trying to troll a podcast? You're a businessman.
That's when we knew there wasn't a war to be won. It was done at that point. But not just that. There's a 50 minute video we've never really publicly commented on, that an quote unquote unlisted video that he posted publicly, that Tommy spends 50 minutes trying to justify his weird antics on forums and tweeting at us aggressively. And it's a bizarre video directed at us. 50 minutes, not 15. And so that's the example of them knowing how we operate and trying to work around it. And we will comment on that video at some point and go through it. I think that'll be a fun, when this is all over, that'll be a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
So that aside, this video comes out. Comments are turned off. There's not even a description in this. It's just an upload. So this is before we get into it, I will say this. We don't know when they filmed this video. If it was a month ago, 2 months ago. One of the individuals in the video I recognize as an employee that showed up in one of the hangout videos that happened last year where Tommy's walking around while they're eating food or whatever. So there are employees involved with part of the gameplay at the end. But it's an 8.5 minute video. And I think the goal of this video was to say, hey, we are a professional company and we have a product and we have to make sure people in Europe and in Germany still think that this is happening. We have to make sure that our partners know that we are a functioning company, even though behind the scenes we are on our last legs.
So it's clearly not a video for customers. Like just about everything they've ever done, it's very clearly an investor video. It's a video for investors. It's to say they need someone to offer them money for their product, to buy them out, or they go under.
Give them more money.
This is the last-ditch effort they have, so they figured, let's grab everything we have and put it together as nicely as possible and show people what we have. And I'll say it, not having Tommy on the video does go a long way to improving the initial feel of the video. I'm not positive on this video, but I do think it's
Absolutely
the most
not positive.
No, but I do think it's the most professional video they've put out, which is not saying a whole lot. The lack of Tommy, and this, don't take this the wrong way because I'm not big on John Alvarado either.
No.
Guy's crazy. I mean, fucking crazy. But he puts on a better public face. However, the video falls apart pretty quickly.
There's a quote.
It's a facade. It's a Potemkin village. It falls apart as soon as you start to look at it.
It's deception.
It's deception. It's not a retail unit. It's a
handmade prototype.
It's a handmade it's what you've seen floating around. It's probably something that was at one of the meetups. It's what you've seen in the videos prior. These exist. We've never said that these prototypes don't exist. What we want to know is what's in there. With no manufacturing, it's very likely, and we've said this all the time, it's just an Android box in a shell. There's nothing special or proprietary about the Amico right now. It's literally a box that you could probably buy online, load up these APKs, and run them.
Well, they definitely didn't have a board in 2019 when they showed it at E3. My sources say it was an orange pie, in basically in the shell. Regardless, whether or not it's a real board or not at this point, these are prototypes. These are not retail ready units. And that box was probably made a year ago or whenever. Tommy in the past has said, "Oh, we got this awesome box. You've never seen a box like this before." All this bullshit. It was a revolutionary box. I'm serious. These are things he said.
Like, I know. And one of the big things that I just need to mention is Tommy's bloviating and overselling of everything is easily one of the least likable things. This box is going to do things. He literally said the box is going to. It's never been done before.
Well, it's the same thing about the physical product. This hasn't been done before, and you even had a bunch of their cultists like got an early look go along with it. Oh yeah, this is revolutionary.
I think the only time he ever referred to me by name in an Atari Age post where he said, "Yes, Ian, you do need the controller to play these games."
People were saying this was revolutionary. This shit was revolutionary. Revolutionary, horrible. How you can put out a physical product for games that will never be released. That's revolutionary, Ian.
They try real hard in the video to make it look like, though, like I said, they try to make it look professional. They open the box, which has been around for a while. You can see dings on the box.
There's dents on it. It looks, it's a one-off.
It's been opened before.
That wasn't made at some plant somewhere. That's a one-off they had made.
They don't have a stack of these.
Yeah, I want to see like them flattened and stacked up to the ceiling.
No, they have a sample.
Yeah.
They even had like a they wanted to show off. So they take it out, they unbox it, and it's like, oh, here's a quick start guide. A quick start guide that misspells their own fucking company's name.
Yes, it was Intellivision with an E at the last instead of an I for vision. It was awful. And then that web URL.
I mean, the spelling errors, the spelling errors like throughout this whole thing are just mind-boggling. Hire someone to actually do something. Hire a copy editor.
Did you see the grammar errors on the side of the box?
Yes.
Like, we're talking like dashes where they shouldn't be and dashes where they should be, where like you could just get a $15 Grammarly account and put it in and it would have found these errors. This is how rudimentary these errors have always been on their videos and in their it's bad.
It's Bush League bullshit is what it is. Bush League bullshit. So and then you look at the quick start guide, which is, shaped to fit in the box. So it has a custom shape. Well, that would have cost a lot of money to get custom printed. Oh, they didn't. All it takes is like 2 seconds looking at it. It's like raggedly cut with scissors.
Yeah. And plus the instructions URL is it's a 404 on Intellivision site. There's nothing there. There's nothing there.
If
you go to the actual Intellivision.com/instructions, there's nothing there.
Hilarious.
It just says there's nothing here.
Hilarious that they couldn't even throw they couldn't even get the facade. They couldn't extend it out further.
Yeah, the side of the box has grammar errors. I didn't put them down, but like they are bad. They don't know the difference between nouns and adjectives using dashes. And I'm not saying everyone should be perfect, but this is supposed to be a professional product, right, by a professional company.
I remember he said 2 brand new Amico controllers. No.
They were scuffed. We saw evidence of them being scuffed and marks on the screen. Let me just say this. This is not even a sample unit in terms of like, they would never pack the controllers like that just laying on the console. They would be packed individually.
I thought they were packed individually. I'm pretty sure they were in separate.
They were laying on top, on the console. When he opens it, they're laying on top.
I thought he pulled them out of 2 separate compartments.
Ian, I love you, Ian.
Okay, that's fine. I'm just saying I thought he did.
You're giving him too much credit. Go to 140 in the video. They're just laying there. That would never happen when you're shipping electronics that delicate.
Oh no.
Especially since there's so much things in that controller that could go wrong. Those things would be protected. They'd have their own like layer of protection themselves for there. I love that the box says there's 6 best-selling games on this when these games haven't sold anywhere.
Right.
Astro Smash sold 40 years ago, a different version. Cornhole hasn't sold anywhere. I guess if you mean the people that bought the physical units and set them up, you can't cheat like that. Skiing, people have gone skiing, in the mountains, but that's not a best-selling game because it hasn't been released yet, this version. You can't just say things are best-selling when they're not.
No.
That's got to be an FTC violation.
Well, I mean, honestly, it probably falls under puffery. You can probably
best-selling?
You could, you probably be like, well, Cornhole does sell a lot, like, of actual stuff.
You can go out to fucking Dick's Sporting Goods and buy a set.
Either way, it's extremely scummy and deceptive.
Yes.
Also, I wish he would stop. It's one of his favorite words. Everyone has favorite words. You know someone long enough, they use them a lot. Premium is one of his favorite words, and I fucking hate it. There's nothing premium about these games.
No, there's absolutely nothing premium. Let me just say this. Speaking of FTC violation, nowhere in the video, in the description, there's no little text saying that this is not a retail unit. This is a prototype unit. That could be an FTC violation to present it as this is a final product when this is not a final product.
And to go further with that, when they set it up and turn it on, it's
pre-set up.
Yeah, and there's more games than the 6-pack in games. There's games that would not be included on there. Nowhere, I don't think it's mentioned that this is like...
No,
not included. They do a really scummy little fake downloading of the game, but I think John Alvarado even says
store's not set up.
Store's not set up. There is no store. There's
no store that exists in the back. The store doesn't exist in the back end. Doesn't exist.
And then they spent like 2 minutes of an 8-minute long video going over language options.
Yeah, let me go back to the fact that they don't say it's not a retail unit. This has 32,000 views on it. This video. This has 32,000 views. Comments are off. So no one can inform people, hey, listen, that's a prototype unit. He doesn't say it's a prototype unit. So what does that do? That makes people, it tricks people. This is where it goes back to deception. It tricks people into thinking this is ready to go, potentially, because most people aren't following this as well as we have or people that are listening. My friend, a smart person, I love this person, has been following this based upon our coverage. And I have his permission I asked him to, this was his text when he saw that. I actually kind of bought the unboxing at first, but now I'm not sure. I mean, if it's a mock-up, I'm not sure whether I mind it being called an unboxing. Just a matter of like, are these being made en masse or what? That's my point. This is tricking people to either potentially realize this is still coming out anytime soon.
Right.
It's not coming out this year. We know that. Even if they got a mass amount of funding. But it's tricking people that have pre-orders to not cancel them. And by the way, I've screenshots of people that 6 weeks ago still haven't gotten the refunds yet on this. And it's also potentially tricking people to now buy this shit. There might be a couple people out there, I'm not saying it's right or wrong. Hey, this looks like it's coming out. I'm going to put my pre-order in now. This is deception.
Yeah.
It's fraudulent not to say that this clearly, and I mean clearly, that this is a prototype unit in a one-off mock-up box. It's awful. The AC adapter for Europe is a US one, North American AC adapter, and it's obviously not fresh. The wrap was not proper on it. They just shoved it back in the box.
Because once again, they probably got like, it was probably like, print your company name on these cords, get a free trial today, and they sent them one free power cord.
But this was what other shit they had on it. They had the box in the corner. They had some controllers laying around. They had a lenticular card printed on this. Let's just throw this video out there. It's bad. It's desperation. John says early on, the box is an important part of bringing Amico to the public. The box is probably the least important part of bringing the Amico to the public.
Also, 44 seconds, fully functional Amico for European partners with no store, no RFID tap.
NFT capabilities.
No NFT capabilities. The lights weren't on at any point, I don't remember seeing, so it's not fully functional.
No. And Hans, why did they ship it to Hans, by the way? Hans tweeted out or posted that, oh, I have it. This is a dream come true.
Except for the fact that he's been carting the same fucking units around Europe running the demos.
It's smoke and mirrors.
Yes.
There's grammar errors, like I said, on the box. John thanked the localization team. He thanked the localization team at the beginning for helping on the box.
That was quickly pointed out that the translation, at least the French translation, is absolute dog shit. Only one of the words was actually translated properly. All of the other words were translated in the wrong context.
Yes, the localization team, John, was translate.google.com that was used.
Right.
Not just on the box, probably, but also in the in-game menu, which we'll get into for switching out the languages. It was an embarrassment. People were saying right away the French is all wrong.
The French is like, I guess, the worst. The one guy, I think, like the word they chose for redeem, instead of like redeem like your game, it means like to redeem yourself, like in the eyes of God or something like that, or in the eyes of someone. It's crazy.
We got to talk about the startup, the deceptive startup of the system. That to me was the biggest red flag of all that people might not have noticed. Remember, what based upon our product, we're like, we want to see an Amico boot up, and then like a month and a half later, Tommy and John, this was, what was that, late 2020, show the Amico booting up, and it took more than a minute to go from power on to when you're actually using the controller.
And Tommy pulled the Sean Spice and was like, it was 30 seconds.
Yeah, it was like, no, it's over a minute. I went back and rewatched that. So in this video, you see John hit the power button. You don't see it come on the TV. It cuts away from the one shot where showing John and push a button. You don't know how much time passed. You have no idea how much time passed between the power button and getting to the menu. But you do then see the table again, and the quick start instruction paper's gone, and the console's been moved. So
yeah, there's a lot of cuts. I think the system moves like 3 times during the video.
All I know is this. I think it's, again, deceptive not to show the actual boot up time. If it was, Ian, if it was instant, I don't think they would have cut away.
No,
if it was 10 seconds, they wouldn't have cut away.
No, someone had gathered some responses from John Alvarado in an Amico chat afterwards, and he said that it was edited because the boot up time was long.
Still long. 2 years later, still long. The settings, they changed the settings. They're all German. The text was still English on the side. It's a sloppy error. It was there. And if you notice that, you click Deutsch, and it was still English on the side. Tommy, he said Tommy's favorite Italiano. Can we fucking stop with this shit? Can we stop with the Italian jokes and shit? I'm an Italian American. Can we just stop with it? Just stop. No password was entered for the Wi-Fi. The console was pre-set up.
Yeah.
You put in a store setup with a zip code. European countries don't have a zip. They don't use a zip code in Europe. Some countries in Europe don't have even a postal code at all for their location. Some do. It's a different format either way than a zip code. Just another sloppy error that wasn't set up there. And a 610E, you touched on this, he said the store is not active yet. The store is not active because it doesn't fucking exist in a functional form.
Yeah. That was said in the SEC filing, the document. They need at least, what was it, 1.5 million for the back end or something like that.
It was like, we need a third of the 5 million for firmware stuff and back end stuff and cloud. And then they butchered my cornhole. That didn't sound so good.
Oh my God, Pat.
They butchered my cornhole. So cornhole, remember summer of 2021. They showed in one of their parties, just off the side, Tom said, hey, let's look at cornhole. And then John was there. And then, we had to throw out how the motion worked because it didn't work on the cornhole. The motion didn't work. Now you got to hit a target and do an arc and then throw it. It's not one-to-one motion anymore. So in this video, Ian, even compared to cornhole when we first saw it, the graphics were nerfed. They were a lot simpler.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the textures on the trees were most noticeable. And also, when they throw the bag, it doesn't look like it really throws the bag until you're almost done with the swing. So it's not one-to-one. It's not like a Wii bowling thing where you let go and it goes. There's a obvious gap where they just doesn't seem like they figured it out, where like it's taking the data and then transferring it and then doing it.
It's a power meter basically, and then
exactly,
and then spitting out the results.
And if you've ever played cornhole, one of the things that's a big part of the game is how the beanbags will slide or move around after they've been thrown or tumble. These just stick and are done. Like they're fucking 125 pounds.
I think it was very telling that in their demo they did not show one bag going into the cornhole.
Yes, they did not. I remember that too. I was like, come on, show me.
Show me like that this works, that you can aim this, and they couldn't show that in their video.
Nope.
It's a disaster. It's finished, it's ready to go. And then this actually annoyed me more than I thought. The Moon Patrol co-op mode that they showed. They had the balls to say,
where it's like it just fucking parcels out the controller, right? Each person controls one button.
Their co-op mode with their expensive tech is literally what Ian and me used to do in the marathon, saying, "Oh, you're gonna run in Mega Man, and I'll do the jumping and shooting."
Yeah,
we're just gonna divide out the control functions, but between 4 people. I guess so. One person does the jump, one person does the shoot, one person does the speed.
Premium, revolutionary, multiplayer, couch co-op gaming for the family. Right fucking there.
Oh my God. Is there anyone, even a Moon Patrol fan, that would use that mode for more than 30 seconds on a lark?
No, because it's a fucking cheap cop-out. It's not actually fun.
So they tacked on the gameplay stuff to make it seem like this is a marketing video as well for Koch Industries, who's doing the distribution in Europe, or for the German partners, or maybe the Bavarian grant people are like, what the fuck's going on with this, that all this money's been put into this. Maybe they're trying to get more Bavarian grant money, probably.
I want to know what happened to Bomb Squad. I mean, I know what happened to Bomb Squad. They didn't pay them any money, so they stopped working on the game.
Just like with the other Ocean games.
I'm assuming that's how it is for all of these. But all the good stuff. But it's really telling too that there's nothing going on there, because Bomb Squad was touted as by Tommy and others as the game that was like going to be the killer app for the Amico, I think, more than the other stuff, because they said it was going to use every single function the Amico controller,
LEDs,
and the system had
touch screen, sounds,
gyrometer. Yeah, it was going to use it all. Microphone, it was going to use everything. And nothing. We haven't seen any of it. It hasn't been demoed. That would be the game to demo if you really want to show off the system.
Yeah, that would be one that'd be a packing game, I would think. Because
I would think
it's the one that would have to use the controller. The one that you have to use the controller on this with different colors and things, let alone the fact that some people are colorblind and that would affect how they could play, but whatever. Like that would be the one game. But then you realize, they probably never went past proof of concept when they showed in that one video.
Yeah, and I mean, from everything we've heard about the controller, there's no way they could have done anything particularly advanced on the touch screen. There's not enough space.
No, you have 1
megabyte.
You can do like a picture. You can do like a fish GIF on there, basically. So in the midst of all this, and obviously people knowing this is a disaster, on our favorite website, Atari Age, they are allowing a thread called "Is the Amico Dead?" to be there the past couple of weeks, which is good, because it should be there. You should allow this, since you allowed the Amico to get basically marketed there, and it was used as a home base for attacking critics like Ian and myself. So it is turnabout is fair play, at least in terms of this. You should allow people to realize what's going on with this disaster.
Yeah, I think even Atari Age right now realizes that coming out as pro Amico would be seen as very bad.
But even staying silent is like taking a side. You have to point out how bad this is at this point. Yeah, I there should be a thread. I'm putting it out there with all the people who haven't gotten their refunds. Don't be afraid of Tommy or Intellivision. If you want your refund and you didn't get it, say it loud and clear. If I got to read a list off of the people that still haven't gotten their refunds, if you want me to, I'll do it. We'll do it every fucking week. Put their fucking feet to the fire. I don't care if publicly people have gotten a couple. I'm seeing reports of people literally asking back in February for a refund and haven't gotten one yet. Put their feet to the fire. All their patents got rejected too. We saw that. That's not as big of a deal, but it just shows that they have nothing at this point still.
Right.
They have nothing. And they have, I think, up to 6 months in order to go back and refile. But that costs money. Not just refiling. Patent lawyers are not cheap. That whole process is, but like, I think they waited to submit, Ian, because they could always say, "Oh, we're patent pending." It's patent pending,
Right.
At some point, there'll be no more pending patents.
Right. Exactly. Once there's no pending patents, they have nothing to say.
You can't have a sale saying, "Oh, we're selling our patent pending stuff." No, at some point, there won't be any patents you can potentially even sell. So the value of the company drops. Like, this was all planned. They could have submitted these patents 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, but then by now you realize they'd have no patents.
Yeah.
So it's all a game. It's all a fucking game. It's a game. They're just trying to get more of your money on it.
It's all about the game. How you play it.
Oh, he retired in Triple H.
Yeah.
You know, that's a whole other conversation.
C+.
The C plus wrestler?
C plus.
Is that what Bret Hart? Bret Hart used to say, "Show me a 5-star Triple H match or something."
Yeah.
Or a 4-star Triple H. It's like you can't find them.
You can't.
Whole other conversation there. That's all really much I have to say. I think it's really scummy and deceptive not to clearly state in the video, and have a description and have text at least twice saying, "No, this is not a retail unit. This is a prototype.
Yeah.
Subject to change." Like something to let the person know, "Oh, I'm not potentially being tricked."
Yeah.
That's a whole part of the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, to make sure stuff like that doesn't happen. Otherwise, it becomes false advertising on it. So, all right. Anything else? There's going to be another video released literally 2 hours from now after we're done recording. We'll see.